friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Raja Gogasicoder 1719. Here we bring you amazing, unknown, and shocking information from around the world, knowing which you will definitely say, wow, could this be possible? So stay tuned until the end of the video, because today you are going to hear something you may have never heard before. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. A place where the sun disappears for months, leaving behind only endless darkness. A land where temperatures plummet far below anything the human body was ever meant to endure. Where winds roar louder than jet engines, and the very air you breathe feels like shards of glass. This is not a scene from a science fiction movie. This is real. This is Earth, and it has a name. Antarctica. The coldest, most unforgiving place on our planet. But here's the fascinating part. Even in this frozen desert of ice and snow, life exists. Stories of survival echo through the silence, and secrets hidden beneath kilometers of ice hold clues not just to our past, but to our future as well. Why is Antarctica the coldest place on Earth? How do animals survive here when no trees, no crops, not even soil can exist? And what mysteries lie locked away beneath this icy kingdom? In this journey, we are going to travel across time and space, from the first daring explorers who risked their lives to step on this land, to the modern scientists uncovering hidden lakes, lost worlds, and even warning us about the future of our planet. So stay with me, because by the end of this story, you will see Antarctica not just as a frozen wasteland, but as the most mysterious, powerful, and important continent on Earth. Welcome to the coldest place on our planet, Antarctica. Now that we have stepped onto this icy frontier, let's uncover what truly makes Antarctica so unique and so unimaginably cold. Antarctica is not just any continent. It is the 5th largest continent on Earth, almost twice the size of Australia, and yet it looks nothing like the others. Imagine a vast sheet of ice stretching endlessly in all directions, covering almost the entire landmass. In fact, nearly 98% of Antarctica is buried beneath ice, making it the largest single mass of ice on the planet. But why is it so cold here? First, its location. Antarctica sits directly on the South Pole, tilted away from the sun for months at a time. During the winter, the continent is plunged into complete darkness, a period called the polar night, when the sun never rises above the horizon. Imagine living in total darkness, not for hours, not for days, but for months. Even in the summer, when the sun finally appears, it hangs low in the sky, never shining directly overhead. That weak sunlight, combined with the ice that reflects most of the heat away, keeps the continent frozen year-round. And then, there are the winds. Antarctica is home to the fiercest winds on Earth, katabatic winds. They roar down from the high ice plateau, reaching speeds of 200 miles per hour. Strong enough to knock you off your feet, strong enough to strip away the warmth from any living thing. As for the temperatures, on a warmer summer day, the thermometer might reach minus 20 degrees Celsius. But in the long, merciless winter, it can fall to minus 60 degrees Celsius or even lower. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was measured here at Vostok Station in 1983. An unimaginable minus 89.2 degrees Celsius. That's cold enough to freeze exposed skin in less than a minute. And yet, this frozen land is not lifeless. Beneath the ice, beneath the silence, lies a world full of secrets waiting to be discovered. Antarctica is more than just the coldest place on Earth. It is a world of extremes, a natural laboratory where Earth's most powerful forces collide: ice, wind, and darkness, shaping a continent unlike any other. For thousands of years, people believed in a mysterious land at the bottom of the world. Ancient maps and sailors' tales spoke of a vast southern continent, a place they called Terra Australis Incognita, the unknown southern land. No one had seen it, but many imagined it, until the early 19th century. The first recorded sighting came in 1820, when explorers like Fabian Gottlieb von Bellinghausen from Russia and Edward Bransfield from Britain caught glimpses of this frozen world. But what they saw wasn't welcoming. Towering icebergs, endless sheets of ice, and deadly seas, a place so harsh that most believed it could never be conquered. Yet human curiosity has always been stronger than fear, and so began the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. Names like Ernest Shackleton, Robert Falcon Scott, and Roald Amundsen would soon be etched into history. They weren't searching for gold or riches. They were searching for glory, for knowledge, and for the chance to stand where no human had ever stood before. The most dramatic race came in 1911. Two teams set out to reach the South Pole, Scott from Britain and Amundsen from Norway. For months they battled storms, frostbite, and starvation in a race against time and against nature itself. Amundsen's team reached the pole first, planting the Norwegian flag on December 14, 1911. It was a triumph of planning, skill, and sheer determination. But Scott's journey ended in tragedy. His team reached the pole a month later, only to find Amundsen had beaten them. On their return, Scott and his men perished in the icy wilderness. Their diaries, later discovered, told a story of incredible bravery and heartbreaking sacrifice. And then there was Shackleton, perhaps the greatest survival story of them all. In 1914, his ship, the Endurance, was trapped and crushed by ice. Stranded with no hope of rescue, Shackleton and his men endured 2 years of unimaginable hardship. Yet against all odds, he brought every single member of his crew home alive. His leadership and courage remain legendary to this day. These were not just explorers. They were dreamers who risked everything to uncover a land that did not want to be found. Their struggles, their victories, and their sacrifices opened the door for the world to finally know Antarctica, the last continent to be discovered and the hardest to survive. The story of Antarctica is not just written in ice. It is written in the courage of those who dare to step into the coldest, most unforgiving place on Earth. Now, you might think that a land of endless ice, brutal winds, and temperatures colder than a deep freezer could never support life. But Antarctica has its own incredible cast of survivors creatures that have mastered the art of living in the extreme. Let's begin with the emperor penguin, the true monarch of this frozen world. Standing nearly 4 feet tall, these birds are the only species to breed during the Antarctic winter. Imagine that when the sun disappears and the cold grows unbearable, the emperor penguins huddle together in tight colonies, thousands of them pressed side by side. In that huddle, they take turns shielding each other from the wind, creating a living circle of survival. It's teamwork at its finest, and it allows the fragile chicks to hatch in a place where no other animal dares to raise young. Then there are the seals. The Weddell seal, for example, spends much of its life under the thick sea ice. With specialized blood and lungs, it can dive for over an hour, holding its breath while searching for fish in the icy darkness. The leopard seal, on the other hand, is a ruthless predator, sleek, powerful, and feared by penguins who know one slip into the water could be their last. Overhead, the skies belong to birds like the snow petrel, pure white against the endless blue, and the skua, a tough scavenger that isn't afraid to steal a penguin chick if given the chance. But the real heartbeat of Antarctica lies in something much smaller: krill, tiny shrimp-like creatures, almost invisible in size, but numbering in the billions. They form the foundation of the Antarctic food chain. Penguins eat them, whales eat them, Even seals depend on them. Without krill, this entire icy ecosystem would collapse. What makes these animals so extraordinary is not just that they live here, but how they live here. Thick layers of blubber protect seals and whales from the cold. Penguins have tightly packed feathers coated in oil that repel freezing water. Some fish even have antifreeze proteins in their blood, nature's miracle to keep them alive in sub-zero seas. Antarctica is a land that pushes life to its limits, yet every penguin, every seal, every tiny krill is proof that survival is possible even in the coldest, harshest environment on Earth. Here, life doesn't just adapt, it thrives against all odds. Now imagine yourself, not as a penguin, not as a seal, but as a human being. Could you survive in a place where the air cuts like knives, where the night can last half a year, and where the nearest hospital is thousands of miles away? This is everyday reality for the few thousand people who live in Antarctica. They are not settlers, not permanent residents, but scientists, engineers, and explorers stationed here in the name of discovery. And across the continent stand a network of research bases, names like McMurdo Station, the largest, run by the United States. The Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, perched exactly at the Earth's axis, and Vostok Station, one of the most isolated outposts ever built. In summer, the population swells to about 5,000. In winter, fewer than 1,000 remain alone with the ice. But what is daily life like here? Food is flown in or shipped by icebreaker. Scientists eat packaged meals, dried fruits, and sometimes even fresh vegetables grown in small greenhouses inside the bases. Water comes from melting ice, and the thick insulated buildings are heated by diesel generators or even nuclear power in some stations. Clothing isn't fashion, it's survival. Layers of insulated suits, boots that look like small boats, goggles to protect eyes from snow blindness. A mistake as simple as leaving a glove off for too long can mean frostbite in minutes. And then there's the psychological challenge. Imagine being cut off from the rest of the world for months, surrounded by endless darkness during the polar winter. No trees, no cities, no sounds except the wind. For some, the isolation can feel unbearable. For others, it's a rare chance to experience peace like nowhere else on Earth. Yet despite the danger, life here is not without moments of wonder. On rare clear nights, scientists witness the aurora australis, the southern lights, painting the skies with dancing colors. And during summer, the sun never sets shining 24 hours a day, a reminder that this is truly a land of extremes. Human survival in Antarctica is a balancing act between technology, discipline, and sheer willpower. Every person here is part of a greater mission to unlock the secrets of this frozen world, and in doing so, to better understand our own planet. For humans, Antarctica is not home. It is a test. And only the strongest and the most determined can endure its icy trial. Antarctica may look like a blank sheet of white, but beneath its ice lies one of the greatest treasure chests of secrets on Earth. Buried under miles of frozen silence are worlds hidden from human eyes for millions of years. And with every new discovery, scientists realize this land is far more mysterious than anyone ever imagined. Take Lake Vostok, for example. It lies sealed beneath almost 4 kilometers of ice, untouched for over 15 million years. No sunlight, no air, just complete isolation. And yet, when Russian scientists drilled down, they found signs of microbial life, creatures that may have evolved in ways we can't even comprehend. Could these hidden ecosystems be like time capsules, windows into Earth's distant past, or even clues to life on other planets? And then there are the fossils. Once upon a time, Antarctica was not frozen. It was lush, green, and warm home to giant forests and even dinosaurs. Fossilized leaves, trees, and bones found beneath the ice tell a story of dramatic climate change. This continent has not always been a wasteland. It has lived many lives. Antarctica also guards the best preserved meteorites in the world. When space rocks crash into the continent, they are frozen and locked away in ice, perfectly preserved for scientists to study. Some of these meteorites are believed to have come from Mars, carrying whispers of other worlds across the solar system. But perhaps the strangest of all are the unexplained magnetic anomalies deep beneath the ice. One such anomaly beneath Wilkes Land has fueled wild theories. Could it be the remnants of a massive asteroid impact that triggered the extinction of the dinosaurs? Or, as some conspiracy lovers claim, evidence of a lost civilization buried under the ice? Science hasn't solved the riddle yet. What we do know is this: every ice core drilled, every fossil unearthed, every hidden lake explored adds another chapter to Earth's history book. Antarctica doesn't just hold the secrets of its own past, it holds the story of our entire planet. Beneath the silence, beneath the cold, Antarctica is whispering, and humanity is just beginning to listen. Antarctica is not like any other continent on Earth. It has no countries, no cities, no kings or armies. It is the only place on the planet where borders and politics melt away, leaving behind something greater, the spirit of cooperation. This remarkable idea began in 1959, when 12 nations, including the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and others signed a groundbreaking agreement, the Antarctic Treaty. It declared that Antarctica would belong to no one, and to everyone, a place reserved not for war or conquest, but for peace and science. Over time, the treaty grew stronger. Today, more than 50 countries are part of this unique pact, making Antarctica the largest area in the world dedicated to scientific research. No weapons are allowed here, no nuclear tests, no military bases. Instead, nations that might be rivals elsewhere work side by side in the name of discovery. Imagine it's scientists from America and Russia, Japan and China, India and Australia, all sharing the same icy land, helping each other survive and exchanging knowledge that could change the future of humanity. The treaty also protects Antarctica's fragile environment. Every penguin colony, every seal, every piece of ice is safeguarded from exploitation. Mining, drilling, and commercial industries are banned. The continent remains one of the last truly untouched wildernesses on Earth. In a world often divided by politics, greed, and conflict, Antarctica stands as a shining example of what humanity can achieve when it unites for something greater than itself. It shows us that cooperation is possible, not just in theory, but in practice. Antarctica belongs to no flag, no government, no empire. It belongs to science. It belongs to peace. And, in the deepest sense, it belongs to all of us. Antarctica may seem eternal, an endless kingdom of ice that will never change, but the truth is far more fragile and far more alarming. For decades, scientists have been watching the continent with growing concern. Giant ice shelves, some the size of entire countries, are cracking and breaking away. In 2017, a trillion-ton iceberg separated from the Larsen Sea ice shelf, one of the largest icebergs ever recorded. Others, like the Thwaites Glacier, ominously nicknamed the Doomsday Glacier, are melting faster than expected. Why does this matter? Because Antarctica holds about 70% of the world's fresh water. If all of its ice were to melt, sea levels could rise by more than 60 meters. Entire coastal cities, New York, Mumbai, London, Shanghai, could be swallowed by the ocean. Millions of people would be displaced. The map of the world itself would change. And yet the danger doesn't stop there. Antarctica plays a critical role in Earth's climate system. Its ice reflects sunlight, keeping the planet cool. Its oceans drive powerful currents that regulate global weather. As the ice melts, this delicate balance is thrown into chaos, fueling stronger storms, rising temperatures, and unpredictable climate patterns across the globe. But the story is not just about doom, it is also about warning and hope. The ice of Antarctica carries messages in the form of ancient air bubbles trapped inside ice cores. By studying them, scientists can see how Earth's climate has changed for hundreds of thousands of years. And the message is clear. The choices we make today will decide the future of this frozen continent and of ourselves. Antarctica is not just the coldest place on Earth. It is the thermometer of our planet, silently showing us the effects of human actions. If it warms, the whole Earth feels the fever. The question is, will we listen to its warning in time? For centuries, Antarctica was a place only explorers and scientists dared to enter. A land too hostile, too remote, too dangerous for ordinary people. But today, even the ends of the Earth are within reach. Every year, a small number of adventurers and tourists set sail across the rough Southern Ocean. Their destination, the icy shores of the last continent. Unlike the bustling beaches of the world, Antarctica offers no luxury hotels, no cities, no comfort. Instead, it offers something far rarer, the feeling of standing at the edge of the world. Visitors witness things few humans will ever see. Colossal icebergs, taller than skyscrapers, drifting silently through the sea. Colonies of emperor and Adelie penguins, waddling fearlessly as if humans are nothing more than passing shadows. Pods of orcas cutting through the black water, hunting beneath a sun that sometimes never sets. Some dare to go further, climbing frozen peaks, kayaking between towering ice walls, or even diving into waters so cold they steal your breath in seconds. Each moment here feels like a brush with another planet, raw, untouched, and humbling. But tourism in Antarctica comes with responsibility. Strict rules protect its fragile ecosystem. No one is allowed to disturb wildlife, leave waste, or take anything from the land. Ships limit the number of visitors who can set foot on shore. Every step must be careful, every action respectful, because even the smallest mistake could damage a world that has remained pure for millions of years. For those who make the journey, the reward is more than breathtaking landscapes. It is perspective. To stand in Antarctica is to feel both small and infinite. To realize that despite all our cities, all our power, all our technology, there are still places on Earth where nature is the true ruler. Antarctica is not a vacation, it is an awakening. A reminder that the world still holds wonders, if we have the courage to seek them. As our journey across this frozen land comes to an end, one truth becomes clear. Antarctica is not just the coldest place on Earth. It is the most powerful mirror of our planet's past, present, and future. Here, silence speaks louder than words. Every iceberg that drifts into the sea, every crack in the ice shelf, every storm that rages across the plateau is a message to humanity. A message that says, what happens here, in this remote corner of the world, will one day touch every life on Earth. Antarctica has shown us survival in its purest form. Penguins huddling against the cold, seals thriving beneath the ice, tiny krill feeding giants of the sea. It has shown us human courage explorers who risked everything to set foot here, and scientists who continue to unlock its secrets today. It has shown us cooperation nations that put aside their differences to protect a continent for peace and knowledge. But above all, Antarctica has shown us fragility. While this land of ice, seemingly eternal, is vulnerable. The choices we make in how we treat our environment, how we use our resources, how we respect our planet will decide whether Antarctica remains a beacon of purity or becomes a warning of irreversible loss. Perhaps it is Antarctica's greatest gift to us. It reminds us of humility. It reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, we are still children of this planet, dependent on its balance, its rhythms, its survival. So when we look at Antarctica, we are not just looking at a frozen wilderness. We are looking at ourselves. If we protect this land, we protect our future. If we let it vanish, we risk losing far more than ice. Antarctica is more than the coldest place on Earth. It is the heart of a fragile world, and its survival is our responsibility. So friends, this was today's amazing information. Hope you liked this video and learned something new. If you found the video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you again in the next video with another new and surprising thing. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned to learn. Jai Goga Sikorama.